I really need to finish this project on the history of the mountain. Wait, I remember a story Deacon Lee told me. Something about powdered donuts. There have been many times of distress in the seminary. The Great Fire of 1818, the 1970s in general, and perhaps the most dangerous time of them all, the Great Donut Attack.
Well, the donutist attack reminds me very, very much of a prank that was pulled by the class of 1863. They left the president rector this note. Dear Dr. McCaffrey, we are very sorry for what we are going to do, but we cannot help it. Please do not be worried about us. We will be back surely on Friday evening. Yours truly, class of 63. Class of 63 decided to go over to see the vestiges that were left after the Battle of South Mountain. And when they got back, just as they had planned, the historian of our seminary tells us they found themselves unmercifully expelled.
It's been a tradition for the past 200 years for the second pretheist to pull a prank on the rest of the house. What started as a fun way to celebrate the end of the year somehow led to one of the most violent attacks in Emmitsburg history. How did it happen? My quest for answers was quickly met with resistance. What can you tell me about the last community dinner in 2013?
No, listen, I'm not talking about this. This is not happening.
What can you tell me about the last community dinner in 2013?
I mean, we'll do this off camera. We'll talk about it. I mean, this is something that's so far in the past. I don't even know why we're dealing with this. Wait a minute. Why'd your finger covering the light there? I mean, are you still filming me? This was part of the agreement. Nothing on film.
After that initial difficulty, I began to find success.
These are nice here. Gosh, yeah, I think I saw the NBA players. They've been wearing these things for interviews. Yeah, I can pull this off. See, one of the things you have to understand leading into that night was that the Preethees the year before, they really had a really lame prank, and for us, we decided, we want to do something a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we all had several different prank ideas.
One of them was to burn all of our books. One of them was to shave the rector's dog. Another one was to pull the fire alarm. You know what? A lot of them actually had a lot to do with about fire.
What plan did your class eventually settle on?
So the thing with the donut idea was, as we can see with the Preethees, we were all white. So everyone else had their clerics on, had their blacks on. So we thought, what would make an impact? Powdered donuts.
So yeah, we would have them all stand up and then pelt them with white powdered donuts, just getting everywhere all over their black clothes. Yeah, now that you say that, it's sounds a little dumb, but we went ahead anyway.
Can you tell me whose plan it was for the donuts?
Well, that's always so hard to say, because all of this stuff is happening so quickly. But ultimately, I think it's got to be Lee Brokaw. He was the president of the class.
So I think it's good to be clear right up front. Yes, I was class president. And yeah, a lot of people think that it was my idea, but in reality, it was Brad's star.
Deacon Brad refused an interview, so I asked Miss Bessie.
I didn't throw the donuts. Josh Cavender did.
It was really Hunick's idea, so...
Yeah, there's some rumors that I started the donut attack, but it definitely wasn't me. I remember it being G-Dubs, personally.
Oh, I think it was John Solly and Drew Larkin, largely.
Clearly there was more to this story than I could tell.
So someone went out and bought these 900 powdered donuts, and just before the rector's conference, we put them into backpacks and had a class meeting.
So either we're all in or we're all out. It's one or the other. And I guess you could say we were all in.
The final vote was 20-3, so we went with it.
That night at the rector's conference, the rector, he decided to talk about something that might seemingly go against our idea for the prank.
And Monsignor Rolfs is all up there saying how you have to be responsible priests and all this stuff, and he's right.
So there I was in this meeting with a backpack full of 200 powdered donuts, and Monsignor Rolfs is talking about not doing childish things and I'm thinking, like, well, these children don't have very good throwing arms.
We all started looking at each other, but we promised we would go through with it.
So we go and sit down at community dinner, and we're all spread out with our backpacks full, just sitting there really trying not to be nervous.
And the whole time, he kept referencing his brand new cashmere sweater. Like this thing, it was sharp. I'm not gonna lie, it was sharp. But all I kept thinking about is, oh man, that's gonna get destroyed.
I stopped wearing black that day.
So the plan at that point was just to call up all the deacons.
So the guy with the microphone walks away from the rector and says, "Hey, we have a sweet treat for you guys."
Sweet treat was the code word, and you could literally feel the tension in the air.
Yeah, we thought we'd start a food fight, and we started throwing the donuts. And no one really responded. It became really awkward. But we still continued for another 30 seconds, and the whole room was pretty much silent. Except for the Colombian guys. They were loving it. They were pounding on the table. They were having a good time.
I don't know. No funny.
But everyone else was shocked, to say the least.
You had donuts flying everywhere. I took a big handful and stuffed them on Thomas's Hahn's head, and the powdered sugar just went everywhere all over his thing. I hit John Hamm. I hit Jake Rose. I threw one across the room and got Thomas Cavanaugh on the head, which he then later ate the donut.
After about 30 seconds of this going on, everyone started to boo.
I still haven't recovered. It's painful. It's just scarring.
It was honestly, it's hard to talk about because it hurts still.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I overslept that day actually. Yeah, I took a nap and I didn't listen to my alarm. Why, did anything happen that day?
I can't get why all these stories aren't matching up. It's almost like they don't have the same memories.
This sent me right away to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM. I think the D may stand for donuts, in fact.
Our biggest problem was the crossfire, as it were. Children don't have very good, accurate throwing arms.
Monsignor Rolfs experienced the worst thing that could ever happen to a rector. He lost control of the room.
He gets behind the mic, and then, in a way that only Monsignor Rolfs could truly do, he screams, "Silence!"
Yeah, Monsignor was fairly angry, I guess you could say, because he knew he lost control of the whole seminary.
So we had to clean up, which, by the way, we did ask the Patriot staff, and they said we could do it as long as we cleaned up.
Yeah, Monsignor wanted to see the guy who took the microphone from him. But we knew that if he went by himself, that was the death penalty. So we all went into Monsignor's room, and they couldn't kick out the whole class. Right? Right?
So we walked in there, and we all got yelled at for our lack of maturity.
The rector told us, he said, we need to apologize publicly, and we need to pay reparation for what we did, and we needed to take care of everyone's dry cleaning bill.
Yeah, I remember that day well. It helped us pay for these new irons.
Then Monsignor said that we were never going to speak of it again. And to be honest to his word, it was never spoken of.
After all the main interviews were done, I felt uneasy. I didn't find the answers I was looking for. Who planned it? Why would they do something like it? So I kept on digging. It was just there. Someone's trying to send me a message. What's gonna happen? I knew that if I give up now, the truth will never be found. Luckily, I found an informant, someone with inside information. He only agreed to be on camera if he was anonymous.
I've known this class for a long time. They're not that smart. I graded their catechism exams, and, their Latin. They couldn't make 800 donuts appear out of nothing. Follow the money.
I did. I interviewed the dry cleaners. They were clean.
Check the receipts. You've got to follow the money.
With this new train of evidence, I set off with renewed vigor. I knew that all the class treasurers kept very detailed records, so all I had to do was go back through the records till I found it. Then I realized something. Dogs can't own credit cards. What the heck is this even talking about? Everything pointed to one person. So I took a flight to Minnesota for spiritual guidance. Did you plan the donut attack?
My memory of the donut attack is beginning to fade, but from my notes here, I'm told that I wanted them to understand that if they were put through this ordeal, that nothing could derail their vocation. After the event, as we now call it, the class did come together as one like no other class did. Their fraternity was tried by the friar, and they came out as whole. I merely provided the leaven to allow them to rise together.
Wow, you're more forthcoming than I expected.
No one ever bothered to ask me about my role in it, and so now as I said, my memory is fading, but I'm told that I played a distinct part in it.
Well, that was easier than I expected. You know, looking back, that class really did stay together through their challenges. Of those 23 guys, 20 of them got to be ordained. You know, that's way better than most people. My biggest takeaway from this quest, if they can get ordained, then so can I.
Best of luck for the class. God bless.